morning, wherever you're watching me from. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Um, so there's a lot that's going on in Nigeria, and it's not even funny anymore because imagine fuel, fuel increased by over 430%. Fuel used to be subsidized, but the government is saying that they must regulate that downstream sector so that there'll be enough monies to cater to education, to other areas of governance. And so, because of that, they have decided that they're going to deregulate the entire downstream sector. And that deregulation, as a matter of fact, is what has made fuel skyrocket to over 430%. Fuel used to be sold around 150 naira, between 150 naira and 250 naira, but now it is over 1,200 naira. And so many persons say it is a very, very harsh policy. But even if you want to deregulate, is it a possibility to deregulate halfway, so that people can basically tie their belts and then get ready for whatever it is that they are looking to do. So the import of this video is to tell you, social media is going a buzz with TPain, with PDP presidential candidates in the 2023 elections, Atiku leading the party. In fact, that name was given to him some few weeks back. Atiku just started calling him TPain some few days back. And so it's now, a thing. Everyone is using TPain, to call him out, to mention certain things that he's been doing. Nobody ever calls him Tinubu anymore. I mean, it's easy to just, write TPain than Tinubu, who is the president. And I see that is going to the heart of the matter because the presidency have stated clearly that they don't like the name that Nigerians have given the president. They really don't like it, and the backlash was unimaginable. People are saying that, well, just like you don't like the name that's been given to you, Nigerians don't like the hardship that you have put them in. You can imagine a field that is practically tied to everything. Fuel is tied to transportation, and then if someone finishes production of goods and services, they must have to move it from one place to another. And so when transportation skyrockets by over 500% due to the fact that fuel is now up by over 430%, you can imagine the amount of hardship it will put in the hearts and in the minds of so many Nigerians. But beyond that, really, there are also people who feel that even though it is inevitable to deregulate, they would have done it in phases. But then the president feels that it has to be done now. And there's some other reasons, because we've also seen arguments where the presidency say that this cost of fuel in Nigeria is too cheap compared to the neighboring countries on the coast, like neighboring countries in Niger, in Ivory Coast, in Chad. And so some persons smuggle these monies, smuggles this fuel across board and to sell for a higher price over there. And so the only way to beat that is to deregulate so as so as to weigh off the people who transport this out of the borders, which is porous. And that is also another way of even saying that the government is inefficient, because if you cannot man your border and Nigerians have to pay for that inefficiency, then it means that the government is ineffective as it relates to guarding its borders. And so that argument has been put forward. Another argument that has been put forward is that other African countries that produce fuel, the prices of fuel is a little bit higher than 500 naira, upwards into 700, 800, 900. But then those countries also have minimum wage that is commensurate. If you look at Angola, if you look at Egypt, if you look at Even Ghana doesn't really have fuel. They don't have fuel, but they have gold. They buy fuel from Nigeria. But these countries I've mentioned, the minimum wage is nothing less than 300,000 naira. But Nigeria's own minimum wage is 70,000 naira. So that's why the argument is that you shouldn't be comparing us with these countries, because these countries have a higher minimum wage. And so because of the fact that, it has a high minimum wage, it's understandable that, they should put the price at that. For instance, if Nigeria's minimum wage is over 300,000 naira and fuel price is 1,200 naira, then it's understandable. It is a welcome idea, So it becomes very, very tacky and untoward when you ask Nigerians to bear the brunt, of suffering for the meantime, and then put them through that hardship, and then don't give them the benefits of the luxury of minimum wage that these countries that the government officials compare us to. It is that bad. So I went around asking ChatGPT what exactly is the origin of TPain? Why are Nigerians calling Tinubu TPain? What is the reason why Nigerians are calling Nigerian president TPain? So let me give you the results of what exactly it's produced. So I asked ChatGPT, what is the origin of the nickname TPain that the president of Nigeria has taken? And in fact, if you watch, the presidency has released a statement stating that it clearly hates that name and wants Nigerians to desist from calling it. And of course, when the president says that kind of thing, it tends to arouse more, reactions to that. Many persons have started calling him TPain. In fact, as of this morning, it's still trending at #1 on X. So I asked ChatGPT, what is the origin of TPain? It says, the nickname TPain given to President Bola Tinubu by Nigerians on social media emerged as a reflection of the public's frustration with his administration, particularly after the removal of fuel subsidies. This policy consequently a rise in the cost of living. Nigerians began to experience a significant economic hardship, including inflation, higher transportation costs, and increased prices for essential goods, which they prescribe or describe as a source of pain. The term TPain, by the way, is a clever play on Tinubu's initials, T for Tinubu, then combined with the suffering or pain people are feeling due to his policies. Social media platforms, especially X, have been key in spreading this nickname as memes and conversations about the harsh economic realities circulate. It symbolizes the discontent of many who feel government has been disconnected from the struggles of everyday Nigerians. The nickname has trended widely because it encapsulates the public's dissatisfaction with Tinubu's leadership, with many criticizing his administration for being out of touch and failing to adequately address the inflation and poverty affecting citizens. This is just the origin. It just captures everything. That's according to ChatGPT. Okay. Well, quite frankly, to be fair and frank, so many persons are beginning to be sad about the current situation with the increase in pump price of fuel exacerbated by the issues around our oil and gas sector. One would have thought that because Nigeria is an oil-producing nation, one would have thought that because Nigeria has this oil as its commodity, it should be at least lower. If you look at the prices of this particular product of petrol in different countries across the African continent, I don't think we have a fair deal. We are the sixth producing oil, top six, well, top six producing oil, in the world, and the number one on the African continent. And it doesn't tell good of our oil and gas sector. We've just seen Dangote refinery come on board, and it does look like maybe Dangote refinery would have been a perfect refinery that would bring things down, but it doesn't look like it. In fact, as soon as Dangote went on Bloomberg television saying that Tinubu should stop subsidy, it does look like Tinubu listened to Dangote and did that. And every businessman who want extra monies for their pocket. But again, I just feel that even though deregulation is inevitable, but I think it should have been done in phases so that Nigerians will be able to, absorb the madness. Because I don't think there's any government in the last 25 years since we delved into democracy that has increased pump price of fuel by over 430%. No government has ever done that. And if you are doing that, you're also providing immediately some palliatives. In fact, the last government had even increased pump price under Buhari from what it used to be 120 to over 100%. There was some measure of, human face to it. There's a measure of human face to it. But I'm shocked that this government, in fact, in some places, you don't even hear them say anything. They just announce the thing, and then everybody goes about their work. It's just crazy how this is going. I mean, if you look at prices of fuel in Egypt, it's around 600. Prices of the same petrol in Angola, it's about 450. That's in Nigerian naira if you compare the currencies. But I mean, you're looking at prices, even the government-owned amount for its fuel, it's 1,000. It's only under 1,000 in Lagos. But even in Lagos, before you get it for 1,000, it's difficult because it's difficult for you to get it under 1,000 because it's only government-owned fuel stations that actually sell. And of course, you know how long the queues would be in that particular filling station. So there's no marketer that is selling less than 1,000. Where I am in the southeast of Nigeria, the product is sold for over 1,200. Yes, I bought for 1,220. Another filling station sells for 1,250. The other is selling for 1,500. In fact, in some places, in the hinterlands that I heard in Soka Axis, and even in the Boeing, the product goes as far as high as 1,500, and with a minimum wage of just under 75,000 naira. One would wonder. I mean, 75,000 naira can only buy you 73 liters or even less than 73 liters of fuel. And so you wonder why on earth that somebody would take this particular initiative, hitting hard on Nigerians. I have thought for me that before all of these things come into play, there must be palliatives. There must be transport palliatives. There must be some sort of food palliatives, maybe education palliatives at least. Nigerians can tell where the monies are going to, the extra monies that the government is having is going to, because nobody is speaking to Nigerians about what's going on with the extra monies that they are making from the removal of fuel subsidy or the deregulation of the downstream sector. Nobody is talking to Nigerians. Nobody has said anything. We just heard that NNPC is no longer the middleman, and then boom, the price of fuel is up. And so there's so much uncertainty in that sector. So many Nigerians are really, really, really discontent with this government, and they wish and hope that something is done quickly and quickly too. If you are saying, oh, the other palliative that we have put out is the provision of CNG buses. I understand that across Nigerian states, they're having establishments of several CNG substations. And so if you want to convert your vehicle to CNG enabled vehicles, it is easy for you. But again, for you to convert a small car from a fuel-based vehicle to a CNG-based vehicle, it's going to cost you nothing less than ₦1,000,000. So where is the person going to get ₦1,000,000 to convert their fuel-based vehicle to a CNG vehicle? Where? So it's just a policy somersault that I feel that the government should have thought through. Should have, first of all, at least do the basics first before we delve into this issue. We know that the deregulation is inevitable, and it is important that everybody knows that this particular deregulation is inevitable, but implementing it in phases would have been best. Better still, providing palliatives to cushion the effect of the deregulation would have been better. And so you can also communicate with your channels, communication channels to Nigerians on the need to do this and do it at this time. Because most Nigerians just feel, look, there's nothing to this thing, there's nothing for us. Given the experiences that they have had, that the previous government have made few amounts of monies from the subsidy removal, from partial subsidy removal, there's nothing to show for it. We still have education. Nigeria's education is still at its very worst. Nigeria's infrastructural deficit is at the all-time low, and you cannot point at anything and say Nigeria is doing well because we've saved monies from subsidy. There's nothing you can point at, and so Nigerians are disillusioned about it. And so you don't. The only way they can pour out their frustration beyond going to the street is by going online to tweets, to put up messages, and that's what they've done, and that's the reason why they have nicknamed their president TPain. I was stunned, when I saw that trending, and I was wondering how on earth did these guys create things like this? And Nigerians can be really creative. I mean, to tell you how creative Nigerians can be, even in their predicament, even in their poor state of things, they still find it have fun. So they have named the president TPain, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, also called him TPain. Everyone is calling him TPain, and the presidency is really saddened about that. And guess what? The president is not even in the country. The last time we heard about this, he is leaving for vacation. He's going to the United Kingdom. But again, he's moved from United Kingdom to France. And there are also talks that he might also move from France to another country. And one would think that, for a situation that is this dire, for the first time that we're having petrol pump price increased over 450%, you should be, as a Minister of Petroleum, you should be around to be able to communicate this thing to the people. And even when you are vacationing, you should speak to Nigerians. So, and I'm also hoping that he doesn't come back to cause more pain to Nigerians, because he might do that, knowing and seeing that the presidency isn't happy with the fact that he's being called TPain. He might come back and maybe do something worse than what he's already done. And one would wonder, really, what was the worst that can happen? Well, what's the worst that can happen? I'm sure when we said that and we did that under Buhari, we said nothing can be worse than Buhari. When Buhari was leaving office just over a year ago, the last president, we're thinking to ourselves, you know what? Nothing can be worse than Buhari. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, maybe this might be the worst. Who would have? Worse in the sense that, you are paying more for everything. A plate of food that used to be 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, you are, double that. Places that you go to from where you are in terms of transportation, that is costing you a 500 or a 600 is going for as much as over 1,002, 1,005. And so some of the things that you are normally supposed to do with extra income, you're looking at the fact that the fuel thing can be really excruciating. It's madness. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to my rant though. But again, I want to say a very big shout out to Chris May. Says, can I do a shout out to you? Yes, Chris Mill, Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining my life. Yeah, so we're just ranting about the situation across Nigeria. It's trending at number one. The TV has been trending since 3 days now at number one. You know, and it's crazy how this thing is trending, and the presidency doesn't think it should go back on the field regulation, and the price will remain like that. So Nigerians are just going to find a way to trek. I've got a friend who even mentioned to me that he's going to drop his car. He's going to start trekking because that's the only way to navigate this period. He just bought one equipment to fix in his car, and all of a sudden, you know, the pump price increased again. And he says this is not going to happen. That he wishes he didn't try to fix the car because he's already bought it. Trekking is a new normal, and sometimes some people would have to trek halfway to their workplaces and then complete it with transportation with the amount that they have. So if we had a minimum wage that is commensurate with the pump price of fuel, then we would have been, you know, maybe thumbing up this particular government, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. I really don't know what you guys think, but just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, okay? I really appreciate your thoughts on this latest talk about the presidency getting angry about the president Tinubu being called TPain. Let me know what you think. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Charles is my name. See you next time. Cheers.